Have you ever noticed something strange? Two people can earn the exact same amount of money. They can live in the same city, work similar jobs, and face the same expenses. Yet 10 years later, one of them is financially secure, investing and building wealth. The other is still stressed about bills, living paycheck to paycheck, and wondering where all the money went. Why does this happen? Most people assume the answer is income. If I made more money, I'd be rich. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Money matters, income matters, but what often matters even more is how you think about money. Because wealth isn't just built in bank accounts, it's built in the mind first. And today, we're going to explore the hidden psychology that separates rich thinking from poor thinking. Not rich versus poor people, rich versus poor thinking. Because one mindset builds wealth, the other quietly destroys it. Let's begin. Imagine two friends, Alex and Ryan. Both get a bonus of $1,000 from work. Alex immediately starts thinking, what can I buy? A new phone, new shoes, a gaming console, maybe a weekend trip. Ryan asks a different question. How can I make this money work for me? Maybe he invests it. Maybe he starts a small side project. Maybe he buys an asset that generates future income. The difference seems tiny. It's only one decision, $1,000. But here's what makes psychology so powerful. Small decisions repeated over years create completely different lives. Most people focus on the amount of money they have. Wealthy people focus on what money can become. That's the first psychological difference. Poor thinking sees money as something to spend. Wealthy thinking sees money as something to grow. Think of money like a seed. Most people eat the seed. Wealth builders plant it. The seed isn't valuable because of what it is today. It's valuable because of what it can become tomorrow. And that's exactly how wealthy people view money. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Most people believe expensive things create wealth. A nicer car, a bigger house, luxury clothes, the latest gadgets. These things look rich, but looking rich and becoming rich are often opposite goals. Imagine someone earning $50,000 a year. Every raise immediately turns into higher spending. Better apartment, better car, more subscriptions, more restaurants, more lifestyle upgrades. From the outside, they appear successful, but financially, they're running on a treadmill. No matter how much they earn, they never get ahead. Psychologists call this lifestyle inflation. As income rises, spending rises too. The finish line keeps moving. And that's why many high earners still feel broke. Their income increased, their financial habits didn't. Meanwhile, someone else might earn less, but consistently save and invest part of every paycheck. They don't look rich, but they're building something invisible. Assets, future income, financial freedom. This reveals another important difference. Poor thinking focuses on status. Rich thinking focuses on freedom. Status says, look what I bought. Freedom says, look what I own. One creates admiration, the other creates options, and options are incredibly valuable. Now let's talk about one of the biggest psychological traps in modern life: instant gratification. Your brain loves immediate rewards. That's not a flaw, it's how humans evolved. Thousands of years ago, survival depended on taking opportunities right away. Food today was more valuable than food next month. But in today's world, this ancient wiring can create financial problems. Every day, you're surrounded by opportunities to spend. One-click purchases, flash sales, limited-time offers, buy now, pay later. Everything is designed to trigger the same thought: I want it now. But wealth building often requires the opposite mindset: delayed gratification, giving up a small reward today for a much larger reward tomorrow. Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it looks tiny, almost insignificant, but as it rolls, it grows larger and larger. Investing works the same way. The hardest part isn't mathematics, it's patience. Most people quit before the snowball becomes impressive. Wealthy people understand something others don't. Time is often more powerful than money itself, because money can grow, but only if you give it time. Now let's look at another hidden psychological difference: how people react to mistakes. Imagine two people lose money on a bad investment. The first person says, "I'm terrible with money. I should never invest again." The second person says, "What can I learn from this?" Same event, different interpretation. One sees failure as proof. The other sees failure as feedback. This mindset difference appears everywhere. People who build wealth tend to view mistakes as education, not identity. They don't think "I failed." They think "that strategy failed." The distinction sounds small, but it changes everything. Because if mistakes become part of your identity, growth stops. If mistakes become lessons, growth continues. Now let's discuss something few people talk about: the difference between consumers and owners. Most people spend their lives as consumers. They buy products, watch content, pay subscriptions, purchase services, and there's nothing wrong with consuming. We all do it. But wealthy people often ask a different question. Instead of asking, "What can I buy?" they ask, "What can I own?" Can I own stocks? Can I own part of a business? Can I own assets that generate income? Can I create something people value? This is one of the biggest mental shifts in personal finance. Consumers exchange money for value. Owners create value and receive money in return. The more ownership you build, the less dependent you become on trading time for income, and that's where wealth starts becoming possible. Here's another fascinating psychological pattern. Most people underestimate the power of small decisions. They think wealth comes from one giant breakthrough: winning the lottery, finding the perfect investment, making millions overnight. But real wealth usually looks boring: consistent saving, regular investing, avoiding unnecessary debt, learning new skills, repeating smart decisions for years. The problem is that our brains love dramatic stories. We want overnight success. But wealth often grows quietly, like a tree. You don't notice growth day by day, yet after years, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. This is why many people never start. The rewards seem too far away. But wealthy people understand a simple truth: small actions become big outcomes when repeated long enough. Now let's reveal perhaps the biggest psychological difference of all. Poor thinking asks, "What can money buy?" Rich thinking asks, "What can money do?" One focuses on consumption, the other focuses on capability. Money can buy entertainment, but it can also buy time. Money can buy luxury, but it can also buy freedom. Money can buy status, but it can also buy opportunities. The way you answer that question determines how you use every dollar that enters your life. And over time, those choices compound, just like investments compound, because money habits compound too. A small habit repeated daily becomes a lifestyle. A lifestyle repeated for years becomes a financial future. So what should you take away from all of this? First, stop thinking of wealth as a number. Think of it as a system, a collection of behaviors, decisions, and habits. Second, focus less on looking wealthy and more on becoming wealthy. The two are often very different. Third, learn to value delayed gratification. The ability to wait is one of the most powerful financial skills you can develop. Fourth, view mistakes as lessons. Every financially successful person has made bad decisions. The difference is they learned from them. And finally, start thinking like an owner. Ask yourself, How can I build assets? How can I create value? How can I make my money work harder than I do? Because wealth is rarely about one big moment. It's about thousands of small decisions. And every one of those decisions begins in the same place, your mind. At the end of the day, the biggest difference between rich and poor isn't always money, it's perspective. Two people can earn the same income, receive the same opportunities, and live in the same world. Yet their financial futures can be completely different, not because of luck, not because of talent, but because of how they think. Because before wealth appears in a bank account, it appears in behavior. And before behavior changes, mindset changes. The hidden psychology of money isn't really about dollars, it's about decisions. And the good news is that anyone can start making different decisions today. The question is, which mindset are you feeding? The one that spends every seed, or the one that plants a forest?